Okay, I have 10 o'clock. So I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for March 16th, 2022 to order. Mr. Hinkle, Commissioner Hinkle, you are on Zoom, correct?
He just raised his hand.
Guess that's okay. Okay, if you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord. Lord, we ask you to be with us as we conduct people's business with humility, pride, and respect. Lord, we ask that you watch over us as we make our way back to our homes, and that you just continue to be with us as we make our way through a fallen creation. It's in Jesus' name we pray these things. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there anyone signed up for public comment? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Last week's commission meeting made it clear that funding requests by PSDs in Harrison County were not appropriately evaluated. Today, we are going to begin to try to do that process again. There was little oversight regarding the use of the funds. And in one instance, a PSD was clearly given more funds than necessary and indicated that they were asked to share some of those funds with other PSDs. The citizens of Harrison County need to question why this arose and why these projects were not evaluated properly. As of today, we're going to look at more appropriations. And the latest from the IRS is we can take 10 million and put it directly into the county's budget and then spend the money for matching or for whatever else we need. I would like the public to know that there's no reason today for this commission to hand out any money till it sits down as a work session with the commissioners and with all the PSDs in the cities. Thank you.
anyone else on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay. Consent agenda, what's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Payroll change notices A through D.
Motion approved A through D.
Motion to approve 3A through D. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We have no minutes or amended minutes. That's correct. Okay, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices as shown on A, vendor requisition list of payments.
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve 5A. Any discussion?
What's the bill for Steptoe Johnson for?
One of the TIF bills.
Would you please read the bill, please?
had it out yesterday.
That's the one we pulled. So I can find out more information. I'm sorry, Commissioner Hinkle, that one we actually pulled, and it should be taken off the list until I can find out more information. I believe that one was about the crossroads.
Yeah, it was a bill for Crossroads. And I asked Laura to look into it because I guess there is a pay-as-you-go TIF, and we're just trying to find out if that is a pay-as-you-go. And my understanding is if it is, the developer pays, not us. And there's no money in that. That's my understanding, if that helps you in any way.
Yes, ma'am, because I didn't understand why we were paying for any.
I didn't either.
Information.
That's why I asked about it.
Also, my next question is transfer from 911 to stabilization. What balance does that leave in the 911 account?
They currently have 1.9 in that account,
That is in its levy account.
not in the levy account, in the 911 account.
Okay, but you're transferring this out from the levy? or
No,
the-
this, I'm sorry, go ahead. This is coming out of the 911 line item account.
Yes, ma'am, but don't we have money put in the 911 account that comes from phones? And we also have where it comes in from the levy. And if
That
it's
is,
from the levy, then that's what we have to designate that the money's come from the levy. I'd like to know where this money came, whether it came from the phones or from the levy.
it came from the phones. It did not come from the levy.
So the balance in is 1.9 less than 730, and you took it from phone excise tax.
Correct.
The next question is, we put it into stabilization and then you immediately wanted to move it out into general funds.
That is correct.
And the reason for that is,
It was my understanding that commission would like me to look for available funds for helping some other PSDs or giving some extra money. So with that 730, I did not want to touch our financial stabilization, and I did not want to touch our retirement or anything like that. So we're actually taking that payment and using it for, well, it's going to be on there for my recommendation to help different PSDs. Because we
So
can't
you
spend
don't-
money directly out of financial stabilization.
you don't need this money then to help pay down the debt from the 911 building that the county incurred. Is that a decision you're making or one that the commission's making?
It is my recommendation, and it's up to commission to approve or deny.
Well, I don't think we can use the 911 funds. I think it has to be out of the levy. And I'm going to ask the attorney to look into that. I think this is the wrong funds. Those funds that are come in for phone call cannot be used in this way. And I will ask that Trey Zimmerman, please look into this before this goes any further.
This is actually coming out of the account that every previous payment has come out of.
Again, I think this is, if you're saying it's from 911, from the money raised from phone calls versus the levy, I question the legality of it. Because the levy was set up to pay for buildings and so on, and they're paying us back for the buildings out of the levy. The 911 fee is for operations of 911. I would recommend that we not transfer any of this money until it can be further looked into.
I've gone with bookkeeping and every past payment has come out of this account.
Again, my recommendation is for the attorney, staff attorney to evaluate where this money's coming from. And if it's not coming out of the levy, then we have an issue.
Madam President, I'll call the question and move forward and approve, please.
Okay. Well, there was a motion, you made, that's, yes, you did, okay. Okay, motion's been made to approve number 5 as listed on A. All in
And
favor, signify
I'd
by
like to
saying
amend-
aye.
I'd
Aye.
like to amend that motion.
Waiting for the amendment.
No motion carried.
Remove 38205 and 38206. I don't think the information's there for this commission to make a decision, and the information isn't available to make this decision.
Well, the motion was already voted on, and I don't believe that Mr. Treecroft is
Ma'am,
going to
you
amend his
don't really-
motion. Is that
You
true?
don't really give me a chance to talk because of where I'm having to be delayed, so.
Okay.
That's okay. I'll just, if you all don't.
Opposed to the motion? Any opposition?
You guys
Those
can-
opposed to the motion? Okay, motion carried. I'm sorry, 10:05, we have a funding request for Derek Hotsinpiller, Fallen Stars 5K, Anna Francis.
Right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Yes, what do you need to know from me? Sorry, this is my first one.
Well, I
And
think
quite
we,
frankly, we don't need anything. We love what you do, what
Okay.
you're doing, and we support it every year. And
Yes,
every
thank
year we
you.
allocate $3,000, and I'll
Yes.
make the motion forward to do so this year as well.
Thank you so
And you
much.
really don't have to say a whole lot. It speaks for itself.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate your support. so
And we look
much.
forward, some of us look forward to participating.
Thank you. Thank you.
Motion to
This is
allocate
gonna be our
$3,000.
biggest one yet, hopefully. So, thank you.
motion has been made to allocate $3,000 to this event. Any discussion?
No, ma'am, I think the commissioner has made the decision on how we'll vote.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Are you opposed to that? Was that an
No, ma'am,
opposition?
I'm voting we for the other.
Okay,
But please note that I voted we.
number 6, exonerations, corrective tickets, joint property applications as shown on exonerations A and corrective tickets B.
Motion approve A and B, please.
Motion has been made to approve A and B under 6. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for payments of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B, Development District Number 3, White Oaks Project Number 2, and Series 2008 A, Charles Point Project Number 2, North Land Bay Improvements.
Motion approve A, 1 and 2, A and B, please.
Okay, motion has been made to approve number 7, A and B. A, 1 and 2, and just B, 1 on B. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Number 8, consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated. We don't have any. That is correct. I'm going to continue reading number 8. Now we move to number 9, review, discuss, consider proposal from Clarksburg Park Board. Mr. Cooper, would you identify yourself?
Good morning, John Cooper. I'm the superintendent of parks for the city of Clarksburg Board of Park Commissioners. I have followed with some interest the commission's progress on the construction of a ice skating rink and pickleball courts. And I would like to the commission to consider possibly locating those two facilities at Veterans Park. If I could get the first.
Picture.
As you can see, the facility we've constructed at Veterans Park is one of the best recreational facilities we feel in the state of West Virginia. And there's some natural tie-ins between these two projects. The area, I'll call your attention, you see splash zone to your left. Then to the right of that, there are two picnic shelters right in that area that are two of the older facilities that we have in the park system. I feel that that is a natural location for the ice skating rink. This is an older picture, but presently we have 14 pickleball courts on site, and we have submitted, if I can get the next one, please. We have submitted a,
And that's where the tennis courts.
yeah.
Okay.
So one before that should be like.
Madam President, is this something that's on a computer screen or up on the screen that can be shared with the public?
It's,
The site number 2.
it's on a screen. I don't know.
This
I
is
don't think,
the email that you
I don't think-
received last night.
I understand that, but the public can't see what we're talking about.
Will that help?
Take it from this device and put it in another device and share it with everybody on Zoom. Might take about 5 minutes or so.
We have submitted, it was due the end of December, a grant to the Land and Water Conservation Fund to redo those courts. So we're basically starting from scratch and reconstructing those courts at the park. My thoughts being, if the county is interested in working with us to further develop that, it would be a huge cost saving measure then from the commission going out to construct new courts. And we would, our 350,000, the city has agreed to match it. And if we're successful in the grant, there's no cost to the county whatsoever for that. Now, if we want to expand the number of courts, scope of work, then that's where you all would come in. The third slide is a picture of an ice skating rink that was constructed in Charleston, West Virginia. But you picture this with a shelter over top of it, and it would serve a dual purpose. We would have ice skating in the winter covered. Then in the summertime, obviously the ice won't be there. We can still use that as a picnic shelter. We have if we go back to the first one, there at the park, you'll notice the miniature golf control building, the right-hand side of the blue roof there at Splash Zone. We have plenty of parking available. We have that room, which could be adapted to house rental skates, whatever we need to do to have access to the ice skating rink. Did want to mention the pickleball courts already have a lighting system on, so there would be no expense incurred to do that. And the only other expense we would have is the construction of restrooms to serve the picnic shelter in the summer and the ice skating rink in the winter. But I thought this would be a savings or an opportunity for the county commission, the city, and the parks to work together to make something special there at Veterans Park.
Love it, John. I think it's a great idea. I know the Pickleball Association has been to us several times. I mean, not when I was a commissioner, but prior to that, and asked for help on those.
Very active.
They are.
and very supportive of. And that would allow us, we have plans for clinics, tournaments. So it seems like a natural fit for our two groups.
And it would be a draw.
Yeah.
I think. I mean,
Yeah, and the point is, we have most of the infrastructure already in place, so you don't have to fund that part of it. It's already there.
I think it's worth taking, talking about and seeing what it would cost and what we're looking at. We'd have to know that before we could really make a definite decision.
Yeah,
But I think-
if you're interested, if we could form a committee, start putting together some plans, cost estimates, and you see how things work out.
Because you could have tournaments if you have enough pickleball, which is that
Yes,
correct? That would draw people.
Yeah, tourism would come into play.
Right. Do you have anybody, do you have a question? Do you have any questions of Mr. Cooper, Mr. Hinkle?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to know what kind of ice skating rink he is considering, whether it's real ice or artificial ice.
That's something we would have to take into account on the study. I know it'd be difficult to have real ice, in the climate that we have right now, but that's something that would have to be researched and the decision made.
And as I understand from your drawings, there'll be pickleball courts underneath of the ice skating rink that'll be uncovered.
Now, the pickleball courts are adjacent to the side of the ice rink.
Okay, so the
There-
skating rink, if it's artificial, can be used year round.
It could be used year round, or it could be used in the winter months, and the area could be used as a shelter, a picnic shelter during the summer months.
And you have the funding to do this right now?
We have the funding to do the pickleball courts if our grant is approved.
And I guess this is to the commission. Are we saying that we're interested in paying for a ice skating rink?
I am very
Is that what-
interested in looking into this.
Could I ask where the funds would come for this?
Well, we've already discussed the funding for this, such a project. But this is now we're shifting gears and putting it somewhere else. And working with the city,
And
trying to
going
work
back,
together.
and going back through the minutes, you all said that you would like to go out for pricing and bidding, but you never stated where the funding was coming from.
It was coming from the ARP money. We talked about the project for the pickleball courts, the ice skating rink, and two other things off of 279 was the discussion.
So this money will be coming out of the ARP funds for the ice skating rink.
Yes, that's what was voted on a couple meetings ago.
Well, I don't have any other questions. It'll be up to the
Go ahead, John.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just get a hold of me.
We'll figure
happy
out.
to sit down and start working on something.
Probably need to put a committee together.
Thank you very much.
Meet together.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Okay, number 10, review, discuss, consider information presented from the city of Salem. Okay.
Ready?
You're ready,
All right, I'll just stand here. It's fine.
because I believe Mr. Hinkle had asked you to come back with some information, and my understanding is you have that information.
Yes, I do. And what we are doing, we have a water project that we hope to do. It's a $3.2 million project. We also have, that is a project that replacing water line from Old Hard Grade School, which is a Methodist church now, all the way to Harvard Funeral Home, State Street. And the estimated cost is $3.2 million. Then we have upgrades to the sewer plant, actually to double capacity. And the cost of that is roughly $10.2 million. So what we have done, our accountant has put together the what is needed in the M&R account, or we can call it repair and maintenance, or we can call it maintenance account. What is needed to raise rates, be in compliance with Senate Bill 234, so we can receive grants for loans to be able to do these projects. It has passed. Both of these readings have passed unanimously in council. And it is now with the PSC for approval. And I'm happy today with us that we have our engineer, Thrasher, Steve Haynes for the water project. We have the accountant handling water and sewer. Today, we do not have the engineer for the sewer project, and also the city manager. So I'm happy with that. Now, I think Mr. Hinkle had a question concerning the amount of money that was needed on the public. What kind of revenue this would increase, what would be the amount? And so our accountant did provide that for the rate of 55.6% on water. That amount is $314,570 per year. Do you have a breakdown in residential, commercial, industrial, and public use? And per year on the sewer, which is a 25% increase, that is $168,958. That puts us into compliance. Now I'm going to let the engineer speak and also the accountant speak. Bill News, we're very grateful. Thank both of you for coming. And the city. Right.
Yeah, as far as the water project.
We identify, I know he told, identify yourself for the record.
Steve
so
Haynes from the Thrasher Group.
Okay.
Mayor did a pretty good job explaining the project. It is currently, proposed project is proposed to be funded by a $2 million community development block grant, a $1 million IJDC grant, and a $100,000 contribution from the city. So it's actually a $3.1 million. And so the rate increase does not really have any bearing on the project itself, only the fact that it's all grant funded. So the rate increase does not go to pay for the water improvement project. What it does go is, and we'll probably turn that over to Mr. Wiz, but it goes to basically making sure all of their accounts are up to date and the accountant can account certificate. Just to make it clear, the rate increase does not pay for the water project, just brings it into compliance. I'll turn that over to Mr. Wiz.
Good morning, Phil News with Bennett and Dobbins. I'm the accountant for the city of Salem. As both the mayor and engineer stated, the city of Salem needed a rate increase just to meet general day-to-day obligations, in addition to funding the requirements of the working capital reserve, which is part of Senate Bill 234 that passed a few years back. And then they've also got bonds which require a repair and replacement account be set aside that they have to fund and then reserve accounts that have to be funded as well. So these rate increases on both the water and sewer are to get them in compliance with all those requirements and be able to pay their ordinary day-to-day expenses. The city has to move forward with these increases in order to continue moving forward with these projects. Any bonding agencies, federal, state agencies that are going to get money to do these projects will require that Salem have rates in effect to be able to cover day-to-day obligations before they can move forward with any of these projects. And as their accountants, we could not certify that they had these obligations in place, these rates in place to move forward without doing these rate increases at this time.
So let me make sure I understand. Doesn't matter what amount of money that we could offer to Salem, it's going to help reduce this rate increase.
You're 100% correct. They need this for general operations. Unless the commission could give them money every single year, year over year, and guarantee it, it wouldn't fix the problem. And again, I still couldn't certify because at that point you'd be subsidizing the PS or the.
But let me, and I got a couple, I think at least before I lose it.
Sure.
The money that you're getting is going to take care of upgrading their system.
The future projects.
Mhm.
Yeah, future projects.
So if they would do that and have the money, they wouldn't raise their rates. Or the rates are required to be raised. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We need a rate increase just to pay day-to-day bills today. If we threw the projects out the window, we still have to raise rates because we don't have the money to pay the bills today.
To operate the system.
To operate the system, correct.
If you had raised the rates throughout the years, would that have helped?
Sure. I mean, that would have.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, that would have brought in more money over the years, but
So now they're getting hit with major.
a little
increase,
larger increase than maybe.
which is a shame. That's all the questions I have.
Susan,
Yes.
along your line of questioning, I guess I'm a little confused from last week, but we're now being told that the rate increase is to cover their day-to-day costs and any bonds or loans that they go out and get. Is that right? Or is the 55% total just for operation?
The 55% total covers operations, bond payments that they already have currently, funding reserve accounts that they already have currently, R&R accounts that are current requirements, and then the current requirements of working capital reserves provided by Senate Bill 234.
And how much is that for the working requirements? Needs to
The dollar
be,
amount,
yeah,
the dollar amount for the water fund is $91,034 a year, and the sewer fund is $55,539 a year. Keeping in mind that that will change year to year as it's based on the 1/8 calculation of operation and maintenance expenses.
and you're basing it, if I understood earlier, you guys said you $13 million to bring your system up to date. Is that right? Close to it?
That's, yes, for the projects that are outside of these rate increases.
Projects outside of the rate increase. So the rate increase is going to fix what?
They're gonna allow the city to make their day-to-day payments as far as operation and maintenance expenses, funding the reserves, paying the bond payments, and funding the Senate Bill 234 working capital account and the R&R accounts. It's just, it gets them up to date with what they already have currently.
I think the point of our conversation last week was, and Susan and I agreed with her, is if we gave you a $500,000 or $250,000, you were going to be able to reduce rates, and that's what you were going to come back and tell us. What I understand now is there is no reduction of rate if we try to help you out at all, and that you've got a failing system in Salem that needs immediate money, and on top of that, 13 million.
Correct, yeah, it needs a current rate increase to meet the day-to-day obligations, and then we still have future projects. So giving funds now in an effort to try to reduce this rate increase would not work. But I think Salem would be open to taking funds to help reduce future rate increases relating to the project if the commission wanted to.
Susan, I know this is going to push the agenda, but from what they've said and from other cities and the people who are coming here and asking for money, I think that the commission needs to put a group together as soon as possible to sit down and discuss whether we're looking at 20 million, 30 million, 100 million to get this county close back, and how we can help with accomplishing that. It sounds to me like all we're going to do is pass out Band-Aids, and we're not going to make anybody healthy enough to go home unless we find another way to take the money that we have and turn it into more than the 13 million, somehow try to turn it into 40 or 50 million. Because that sounds like that's not even going to come close to what we need in the county. That's all I have to say.
You got
Ronnie, did you want
No, man.
no action?
Thank you for the information.
Appreciate it, guys. Okay, review, discuss, consider allocating funds to Clarksburg Water Board, Eastview PSD, City of Salem, and Pepsi Ball PSD. Okay, Laura.
Yes.
Commissioner Hinkle, believe you've been emailed a copy of the printout I just handed out. What I took away from the meeting the other day when we had those PSDs here is that to look for money to help out some of the PSDs around here. Currently, Johnny, will you please pull up the first document of what we've given out in ARP money, please?
Designated.
Yes, designated.
This here?
Yes, please. So there's 15 subrecipients who receive the ARP funds. And from the meeting the other day, I know that we wanted to look at possibly being able to help out Clarksburg Water Board, Salem, Hepzibah. So looking for money without taking it out of our financial stabilization or our retirement or anything like that. That's where I came up with the 730 from the 911 payment to try to help out. So that's not touching any of our other funds. With that, the breakdown that I recommend, can you please go to the next document?
Drum roll, please.
Yes, that one right there.
Okay.
So there's $730,000. It would be my recommendation for $500,000 to go to the Clarksburg Water Board to help them with their Chestnut Street project. $8,500 to Eastview. They have requested our assistance in removal of trees and large overgrowth in a right-of-way for Eastview PSD. $141,500 to Salem and $80,000 to Hepzibah. Do you have any questions about my recommendation?
So what you did is you just backed up the reimbursement to the 911 center 1 year.
Correct.
So no money has came out of savings or out of the retirement fund.
That is correct.
So it'll just go to 26 instead of 25
That is correct.
for the building of the building.
Yes.
Could you tell me if you have looked at the January 2022 of the final review and overview of funds from the IRS with the consideration for all the money that we have sitting in our account?
Yes, I did look at that. I know about how we can take that 10 million and allocate it just to the county and then disperse it from there.
Do you have an example of how we can take and leverage that money?
Well, since we've already, commission has already voted allotted from the different subrecipients, I wasn't going to, look at anything with the ARP money. I was going separately to try to help them out.
Does
So
any of
there's
the, excuse me,
Go ahead.
have any of those people presented their projects? And the cost?
They have told us about their projects and we're waiting on the documentation. They have received a letter. They know exactly what they need to submit to us. We know what their water sewer projects are. I have not received the official documentation, but they're working on it. But this is just my takeaway from the other meeting. I know at that meeting, I believe you want to give $1 million to Clarksburg Water Board. Unfortunately, we can't do that, in my opinion, at this time. So this was just trying to help out where we could right now.
How do you base your opinion on that?
From discussions we had in the meeting.
Which meeting?
Last meeting, when you offered the Clarksburg Water Board $1 million and we didn't know where it was going to come from. She now
ARP
has
funds?
the ARP money, David, has been voted on, distributed, allocated, and is approved.
Has
There
any check
is no
been
money
written?
not distributed. It has not been. And the reason it has been approved is because we voted on it. Like today, when you asked when the money was coming for the skating rink, the pickleball court, the new facility for the animal control, as well as the youth facility, that has been voted on. These have been votes in meetings you have attended.
Are you through, Patsy?
No, sir. Today's money is money that Laura has backed up 1 year to distribute it to the people that have came to us last week that you wanted to give money to last week, but didn't know where to get it from. She now has told us where to get it from. Therefore, we have a decision to make today.
No, sir, we don't, but go ahead, keep going.
I have nothing else, sir. Just wanted to clarify all the questions you've had today on previous votes.
Okay, that's fine that you, well, I don't disagree that we didn't vote on it. Well, I didn't vote.
Disagree
You
earlier
and
this
Susan
morning.
voted on it. I voted no. And I guess we're here today
You
because
did know what we had done with the money. You just voted no. So this morning, when you acted like you
Freakoff,
didn't know
can
what it was,
I finish
you actually did. You just chose to vote no, sir.
Can I finish speaking, please?
No, I wasn't finished speaking.
Then continue.
No, I'm done. I'm all done now.
Are you sure?
Go ahead, Mr. Hinkle.
I just want to make sure that he's done.
We're waiting.
Because I think this is just a prime example of what you two did when you voted all this money for these individuals before the final ruling and it was ever presented. And I think Mr. Treecost, your job with the auditor's office is to make sure that we spend this money openly and properly. I'm surprised you never came to the commission and said we could have taken the 10 million, put it into our general account and used it for matching funds. The EDA right now puts between $4 and $5 million grants out. Plus there's other grants that the money can be used for. I'm not done talking. We could have leveraged the money you gave away potentially anywhere between 30 and $50 million. And today you're sitting here saying we can't claw anything back. And we did it last week. You two did it last week when you clawed it back from Sun Valley. So no money has been written. No information has been presented for any of these grants. None. And you sit here today and say we can't change it. Well, that's a lie and that's misinformation. I'm done. Go ahead, Mr. Treecross.
Motion to accept the county administrator's recommendation
As presented.
as presented.
Okay, motion has been made to accept the presentation by the administrator and to disperse those funds as presented, correct?
Yes, please.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay. Number 12, review, discuss, consider proposed order for Antero's tax assessment for 2021 tax year.
Trey should be on Zoom.
There it is.
Good morning. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So this proposed order relates to the 2021 tax year and Antero's challenge, which you all previously heard in the fall of 2021. I believe they had several attorneys present and an individual from Washington, D.C. primarily did the presentation. This order is consistent with a number of other oil and gas producing county orders, which deny Antero's request based upon the current status of the law in West Virginia. I say the current status because, as you all may be aware, the legislature just recently amended again our tax framework in this legislative session. I believe that's headed to the governor's desk probably this week. This order is also consistent with the county's prior rulings in similar tax years. So I would suggest that you all enter the order and we will start the process, presuming they will appeal, related to the 2021 tax year. Do y'all have any specific questions for me this morning?
I do not.
I do not.
That's
Any
all I have.
questions for Trey? Okay, what's the pleasure on number 12?
So just adopt in the record, right?
Well, and it needs to be signed.
To
Adopt in
propose-
record and signed by the president.
Accept the order that has been presented.
Yeah.
For the Antero tax assessment for 2021 tax year.
Motion approved as stated by the county administrator.
Okay,
And
motion is,
give the president authority to affix signature as well.
President for a big signature, please.
Thank you.
motion has been made to affix the signature on the proposed order for the Antero tax assessment for 2021. Did I get that? Okay, did I do okay?
Mhm.
Okay. All in favor, signify, any more discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion carried. Thank you, Trey. Okay, review, discuss, consider changing Presley Ridge Road to Kappa Sigma Pi Drive. Laura, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, they reached out to Paul Bump and Charlotte Schaefer about changing the road name for Presley Ridge to be changed to Kappa Sigma Pi Drive. There's two, I don't want to say residents, but two property owners on that road. Kappa Sigma Pi owns most of the properties there. So they're a majority that is on that road. The other individual that has an address located on that road has no problem, has also submitted a letter that they're fine if there's a name change. Charlotte approves of this from the planning department, and the 911 director for 911 reasons approves of this as well. So it would just come before commission to give your approval.
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve the changing of the name. Any further, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 14, review, discuss, consider agreement between Harrison County Commission and Meadowbrook Mall for early voting.
Motion approved Meadowbrook Mall for early voting as done previously.
Okay, motion has been made to approve the agreement between Harrison County Commission and Meadowbrook Mall as done previously. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Madam President, would it be okay with the two of you if we just went ahead and did 16, 17, and 18, and then saved that for the end of the meeting? So everybody
Say
could go ahead
15.
and
Is that okay with you,
Sam,
Sam?
Absolutely.
take us
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, we're going to skip to number 16. Review, discuss, consider hiring 4 part-time maintenance workers for summer help.
Is this the exact same thing you did last year, Laura?
Exact same thing, $15 an hour for part-time summer help.
Motion approved.
Okay, motion has been made to approve number 16. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye. Any opposed?
Move to approve 17 and 18.
Okay, a motion has been made to approve number 17, which is review, discuss, consider reappointing Tom Durrett to Central Board. Number 18 is review, discuss, consider request to travel and attend advanced ACO HLEO certification course, April 4th through the 8th, 2022 in Belington for animal control. And there are 3 officers going to that.
Motion approved as stated by Commissioner Hinkle, 17 and 18.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, do we want to do go ahead and do the administrator's report before we do the?
Sure.
I have nothing for my administrator's report this week. It's been tied up with the budget and everything, and I've been concentrating on that.
And I have no comments, Madam President.
I have no comments either. Do you have comments, Commissioner Hinkle?
First on the administrator's report, when can I expect the rest of the balances on the levies? It's been 2 weeks now.
I emailed that out about 2 weeks ago. As soon as you asked for them, I emailed them out.
And I didn't receive it. If you'd re-email it, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
Yes, ma'am. This is, I would like to read a news article by Joanne Snodderly. Commissioner Treecost was hired to maintain relationship with counties and municipalities in the state and with the offices of Senator Joe Manchin and Shelley Moore Capita. He will be tasked with disseminating ARP plan money, spending and reporting guidance for federal level to officials throughout the state to make sure all appropriate money is spent transparently, responsibly to guarantee the best outcome of the citizens of West Virginia and their cities and counties, according to Zachary Perry, Special Projects Coordinators with the West Virginia State Auditor's Office. I don't think us as a county, as commissioner, and I'm not sure what Mr. Treecost, your job description is now, but I don't think we ever discussed any of these options. You've never brought them to this commission. And if the people of Harrison County think that we've been responsible for the best outcome with this money, with the changes that have been made, I guess it's carte blanche. We can do whatever we want with the taxpayers' money. Thank you.
I have no comments. So we can go to number 15. Review, discuss, consider execution of resolution verifying discovery responses in opiate litigation. Item may be led to executive session per West Virginia Code 69A4, attorney-client privilege, opioid litigation. Sam,
Yes, thank you. We're seeking a resolution for our commission.
identify yourself.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sam Medea, attorney on behalf of the Harrison County Commission with respect to the opioid litigation, sole matter. We're seeking a resolution whereby the commission would approve the the proposed answers and responses that have previously been submitted for consideration with respect to discovery requests that have been made by the distributor defendants to the various cities and counties in the opioid litigation. We have prepared proposed responses that must be approved factually and verified by our commission. And thus, we're seeking a resolution for the commission to adopt these answers and to give authority to one of the commissioners. I believe it's typically the president that signs off on the resolutions, and thus any and all legal pleadings that we would submit.
Do you feel we need to go into executive session and discuss this? I mean, I've reviewed.
So long as the commission feels comfortable with approving the proposed responses and then thereafter authorizing the president to sign the verification sheet, I see no need to go into executive session.
I see no need as well. Motion to authorize as stated by the attorney and president's signature.
Motion. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, we have a proposed resolution prepared as well.
Okay. There's been a motion made to approve the resolution and have the proper signatures affixed to the document.
That's correct.
Any discussion? Hearing
Yes,
none, all in
ma'am.
favor-
Has our attorney gone over that information, and it is his recommendation that we support this resolution?
Yes, Commissioner Hinkle, this is Trey. That is my recommendation. I've also spoken with Mr. Medea about these, and we're in total agreement.
Thank you.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Motion adjourned.
Okay, motion's been made to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Kevin.